Today I'm going to show you guys how to use the injection molder. What this is doing is it is taking plastic beads, melting them down, and injecting it into a mold. So what we're going to do is lay out all of our supplies first. If you look at your directions, it tells you what you need to lay out. On the table, or underneath the table that we are using, you will find down under here, there is a whole cart full of different types of molds that you can use. You're going to need to grab the plastic beads and the little black brass scoops to help get our plastic into our mold. So with an injection molder, basically we have what's called a hopper. The hopper heats up really hot, kind of like a hot glue gun, and it's going to inject the plastic into our mold. So we want to make sure we turn this on, and we need to connect an air supply to this. So over here, you're simply just going to plug it into the wall. Then you're going to grab the air hose, and you are going to place that on the back to our air supply. Okay, get that on there. And then we actually have to turn the air supply on as well. It's right along the wall here. We just open our blue line like so. Then make sure on the front we have our temperature set to 350 degrees. Make sure to turn the on button on. And then you'll grab some plastic and you're going to fill up the hopper. Now when you fill this up, you need to give it a little bit of time for it to melt. I would say give it a good minute or so. You can kind of tell on the top when you see that the plastic has melted. Now we're going to need to prepare our mold. Underneath our hopper, again, this is very hot. It's going to be up to 350 degrees. Do not touch it. So this little metal black part right here, very hot. Underneath there we have a spacer, all right? Our hopper is being held by 2 pins. So those 2 pins, if pressure is applied to it, it needs to have a mold to help support it underneath, or it needs to have the spacer. So I'm gonna take the spacer out, place my mold. So here, if I open up the mold, I have 2 cavities, and you'll notice that there's a sprue right here, and this is where the plastic is going to get injected to. So we have our little circle on the top here. I'm going to place this underneath the hopper, and then I'm going to lock it into place simply by pushing this forward. Now sometimes our heated hopper can move a little bit because again, it's only being held by 2 pins on the top. So what I like to do is I just take the brass tube and I push it forward so I know when that plastic gets injected into the mold, it's lining up with that little tiny hole that's up on the top. All right, so here's how easy it is to use the injection molder. We have our handle that's over on the side. If your air supply is on, when I push this down, it's going to take the ram and push down that plastic into our mold. Let the mold fill up with plastic, then release. Once you're done, lift open this part, pull your mold out, and then on the inside, you're gonna be able to see that you went ahead and you made your little injection molding part. Okay, you are going to have some flashing and things like that around the side, so you will, at that point, you're going to go ahead and take a razor blade or a pair of scissors and trim everything off and then turn this in for your final grade. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask.